Your Brita does not remove fluoride. Your fridge filter does not remove fluoride. Boiling your water does not remove fluoride. It actually concentrates it because as water evaporates, the fluoride stays behind in less liquid. The fluoride in your municipal tap water is a byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer industry, captured in industrial scrubbers, shipped in tanker trucks, and drip-fed into your water supply. Your standard carbon filter was never designed to touch it, and there are exactly two affordable low-tech methods that actually remove 90% or more of it. Both listed by the EPA, both available to any homeowner, and between them almost never mentioned in any mainstream conversation about water filtration. Stick with me because I am going to give you both of them, what they are, what they cost, where to get them, and how to set them up at home today. First, what fluoride actually is and where it comes from, because this part most people have never heard. When phosphate rock is processed into fertilizer using sulfuric acid, two toxic gases are released as byproducts: hydrogen fluoride and silicon tetrafluoride. For decades, those gases were simply vented into the atmosphere. Cattle in Polk County, Florida, died from fluoride poisoning. 25,000 acres of citrus groves were damaged. Lawsuits and environmental regulations eventually forced the industry to install wet scrubbers, systems that trap the escaping gases in water. The resulting liquid is called hydrofluorosilicic acid. It is classified as a hazardous industrial waste. And since the 1950s, that liquid, unrefined, unpurified, transported directly from fertilizer plants and tanker trucks, has been sold to municipal water systems and drip-fed into the drinking water of most American cities. That is not an interpretation. That is the documented industrial supply chain confirmed by the EPA, the USGS, and fertilizer industry records going back 70 years. So, here are the two things that actually remove it. The first is bone char, cattle bones, cleaned, sun-dried for 90 days, then heated to 1400 degree Kelvin inside a sealed rotating kiln with no oxygen present. What comes out is a granular black material about the size of coarse sand, roughly 70% hydroxyapatite, the same mineral that forms your own bones and teeth, and 30% activated carbon. Hydroxyapatite is a calcium phosphate crystal riddled with surface ions. Fluoride is a negatively charged ion that fits into that crystal lattice with almost perfect chemical affinity. It slots in and displaces other ions in a process called ion exchange, bonding into the hydroxyapatite matrix and staying there. The same chemistry that causes fluoride to accumulate in your bones over a lifetime is the chemistry that makes bone char pull it out of your water. It also removes arsenic, lead, mercury, radionuclides, and heavy metals through the same porous structure. Your standard carbon filter removes none of those things. Bone char removes 90% or more of fluoride when used at the correct flow rate, confirmed by independent laboratory testing and EPA classification as a best available technology for fluoride reduction. The critical variable is contact time. Water needs to move through the media slowly enough for the ion exchange to complete. Too fast and fluoride passes through without bonding. This is why the gravity-fed home setup consistently outperforms pressurized undersink cartridges. Gravity naturally produces the slow flow rate that makes the chemistry work. Here is how to set it up. You need two food-grade 5-gallon buckets, a standard spigot fitting from any hardware store, under $3 a drill, and bone char. The bone char is the only item you cannot buy locally. Search for Brimag Bone Char. It is the original and most widely certified brand with over 200 years of production history, sold through U.S. water systems, Charcoal House, and several Amazon suppliers. 6LB from Charcoal House runs approximately $52. A 5-gallon pail, 30 LBU, runs around $200 and will supply a family for well over a year. Drill a hole near the bottom of the first bucket, install the spigot, stack the second bucket on top, drill small drainage holes in its base, and fill it with 3 to 4 in of bone char. Pour tap water into the top bucket. It percolates slowly through the bone char and drips into the collection bucket below, fluoride bonding to the hydroxyapatite on the way through. You can run it overnight and have clean water ready each morning. One charge handles approximately 12,000 gallons before the media needs replacing. Roughly a year of drinking water for a family of 4. Though testing your output water every few months with an inexpensive fluoride test strip confirms the media is still performing. If you want an under-sink setup, a bone char cartridge size 2.5 by 10 in fits any standard housing and runs $40 to $45. A compatible housing costs around $30. Total setup under $80. Annual cartridge replacement, $40 to $45. For a family of 4, that is the entire cost of removing 90+% of fluoride from every glass of water out of your kitchen tap. The second method is activated alumina. The name sounds industrial and complicated. The material is aluminum oxide, the exact same chemical compound as sapphire and ruby, just without the trace impurities that give those gems their color. Pure aluminum oxide processed to have an extraordinarily high surface area through a dense network of tunnel-like internal pores, and then acid washed to lower its internal pH, so it is ready to perform immediately in contact with water. It is not aluminum metal, it is the oxide, a completely different substance, stable, inert, and NSF 61 certified for drinking water contact. Activated alumina removes fluoride through adsorption. Fluoride ions are chemically attracted to the aluminum oxide surface and bond to it as water passes through, like a molecular magnet. At optimal conditions, activated alumina removes 70 to 90% of fluoride, and some formulations in controlled conditions have been documented at 97%. The EPA lists it alongside bone char as a best available technology for fluoride removal. 1 cubic foot, 40 lb, has a capacity of approximately 50,000 gallons at typical municipal fluoride concentrations. That is a very long service life for a single charge of media. The practical advantage of activated alumina is that it is more widely available in pre-built cartridge formats and whole-house tank systems. The practical limitation is pH sensitivity. It performs best at a pH below 8, and many municipal water supplies run slightly above that. If your tap water pH is above 8, fluoride removal efficiency drops meaningfully. You can check your water's pH with a test strip costing under $10. Below 8, activated alumina is a highly effective and convenient option. Above 8, bone char is the more reliable choice because its performance is less sensitive to water chemistry. A preconditioned activated alumina cartridge for an undersink setup runs between $35 and $60 depending on the supplier. U.S. water systems, DWE CO filters, and Pure Earth Water all carry NSF certified preconditioned media. For a whole house tank system, a complete setup with a 1 cubic foot tank and automatic backwash valve runs approximately $300 to $400 installed, and the media lasts 3 to 5 years. Whole house systems treat all water entering the home, drinking, cooking, bathing, everything, eliminating fluoride exposure through skin absorption and inhalation during showers. Exposure routes that point-of-use filters at the tap do not address. 2 honest notes before you go. Neither bone char nor activated alumina removes chlorine, chloramines, VOCs, or pharmaceutical residues at the same efficiency. Running either one alongside a standard activated carbon filter gives you a complete system covering both categories, and most commercial undersink fluoride filter systems already combine the two in sequence for exactly this reason. Second, test your filtered water. A fluoride test kit costs $15 on Amazon. Buy one when you set up your system, use it monthly for the first few months, and you will know exactly how well your setup is performing and when the media needs refreshing. The municipal water treatment industry charges cities for the industrial waste it would otherwise have to dispose of. The water filter industry sells you replacement cartridges every 6 months that do not touch what you are trying to remove. 2 materials, one made from cattle bones, one chemically identical to a gemstone, have been doing this job reliably for well over a century. They were always available. Now you know where to find them. Share this with someone who has been running a Brita for years thinking it was handling the fluoride. It isn't, and they deserve to know. If this information has changed the way you look at the water in your home, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the history and the science that they have tried to keep hidden. Take control of your health and protect your family. The next revelation will be shared soon.